I am excited to talk about this right here. So it's hard to see on camera. So I got this veg tan leather. It's super smooth. It's natural wax. It smells like apples because that's probably what they used was like apple wood. Smells great. I got 29 square feet of this stuff, so I got a lot, and it's super nice. Yes, there are some scarring, so that's why I hooked up the laser cutter. Now, because it's so thin, I think I can cut a piece out of it. If I can do it with the laser cutter, that'll make my life so much easier because I can just cut out the piece, don't have to worry about messing up the punches or anything like that. But if it's not gonna work, at least I tried. At this point, 4 ounces is probably as thin as you can get before you get like really cut close. And at that point, I'm probably gonna be working with 4 ounces. This stuff is very, very thin, like 4 ounces compared to what I used before, and it's just so smooth and nice. There are some scarring and stuff, but compared to the other leather, it's super nice. And I'm gonna be making wallets. It's firm, but it is flexible, so I like that. It's kind of stiff a little bit, but not too much. And I'm gonna start laser cutting and see what happens. All right. So before you get mad at me about wasting laser cutter again on a nice piece of leather, I'm not sure if you could see it, but they put numbers on here. I'm not sure why, but it was printed on the inside and it broke through, so that's why I did this patch here. Of course, right where the numbers weren't, I did the laser cutting part. But it's kind of tough. So using the laser cutter, I have to move all this around. Whereas like if I use a press, a die cutter, or cut it over the template, it would be much easier. So I can finally rest the idea of using the laser cutter. And to be quite honest, other than cutting templates out of cardboard and other materials for me to cut around, doesn't have really a place where leather works unless you get something that's more powerful. That is possible, but in a closed thing like this, it's going to be impossible to actually, okay, that cuts through, to actually like fit the piece that you want to fit in there, because this is a huge roll. Whereas like I can use a table and stuff. Now this leather is going to be kind of ruined, but I am kind of like butter on this thing. So it's very stiff, which is nice to work with for once. But I am like cutting, because I'm not really like, I'm cutting midair right now because I want to do a quick look to see what happened here. And yeah, you can see it. I switched to the wide angle. It's manual focus, but I've been editing some of the videos, well, all of them, and I see that the autofocus is terrible on this camera. Now you don't know that because I cut it out. Let's look at this real quick. And I'll just be mindful of the rack and the focus. There we go. So as you can see, it kind of came through a little bit, but that's at the slowest setting. This would for cardboard already. It kind of went through, but as you can see, it barely touched the layer. It got backed up. Didn't even do like any of the holes right. I would still have to punch holes. Now I could use this as a thing to trace it, you know, score this and trace to cut to follow. And I did a terrible job cutting this because I wasn't trying to do a good job. But judging by how this all looks and stuff, I'm probably just going to use manual cutting tools and cut this piece. But since we got this already like this, just play with it because I want to know like what it's like. I hate cutting out this hole, but as you can tell, it's where the numbers are, so it's okay. And I'm going to just roll this back up and then go from there. One thing I really like about this leather is how it's not as flimsy as it's say as the bison, you know, like this was a failed project, but see how like flimsy it is, like even holding it by here, like it's a little flimsy, whereas like this is very stiff. That is perfect for belts and other things. Plus it's not shrunken grain or anything like that, so don't have to worry about stretching too much. It's very firm and it cuts pretty good, I would say. Like that's almost all the way through with just a half butted cut, and I have to change this blade, so that's good. Let's see how well it splits. So I'm just going to go like this, and but yeah, that splits really nicely. Look at that. So that whiteout is a perfect split. So that's really nice. I really like that. I'm really happy with that. And if I use one of my Skyvers, like look at that. That's what's supposed to do. Just get that edge right off. But it's just amazing. Like I can mark edges now, you know, for like folds. I mean, this is hard to fold. I would have to shave that down, but as the thing is, like, this is not that sharp, but I can probably just get this edge done. Maybe not. This thing is dull, so much it comes off. Look at that. Just, it helps when you start it. I'm actually impressed because this is a lot more than I would do with the Bison, because the Bison's shrunken grain and it's a lot harder. So it's under 2 millimeters. Like, that's pretty nice. Like, look at these holes. Pretty happy with that. Now, those right there are the ones I poked from this side down. But I'm really happy with the overall, like, how this stuff works. Now, it doesn't cut well with the laser cutter, but you know what? That's fine. Also, it doesn't smell terrible because it's natural. So it's chromium based. I'm just really happy with this stuff. Really nice. And it cleans up good. Like, it's not like that toxic stuff. But yeah. Wonder how well it sands. I want to see. Yeah, a lot of dust, but shaves down really nicely, nice and cleanly. Looks really good. I like it. Let's just try some burnishing. I got this stuff all over me, but I could use like a safer area, but I'm just testing this stuff out first. So according to the listing, this stuff is highly burnishable. Now I don't have any colored burnish, so this is going to be interesting to see how it turns out, but I can already tell that this is going to be a fun time for me. You know, not being sarcastic actually. Wow. Super smooth, nice and flat. Hear that? Phew. Phew. That's what happens when you don't use the dust box. You sneeze like an idiot. But look how well it cuts. That is nice, firm. I am really sorry about this. This stuff works great. Everybody talks about veg tan leather, and I'm like, okay, a little pink for my taste, but this would definitely be like my better over time series and stuff like that. Shade's really nice, and then I could just go in here. And I haven't sharpened this blade either, so the fact I can go nice and smooth and cut it so thinly, not have to fight it, that's amazing. Because like I want thin in certain spots, like where I'm like making a wallet and I need to like double stack something. Like I'm just curious, what if I go like super paper thin? Didn't break, still paper thin. Now it's nice and flexible. Wow, this stuff is great. I mean, I went from working on hardcore bison leather and I'm going to this, which this is way nicer. So I absolutely love it. And most of my cheap crap, ooh, most of my cheap crappy tools work pretty good. Can't do that because of that. So I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna call it a day. I've been saying how much I love this stuff for 30 minutes. But to recap, laser curve probably doesn't work well. The other thing I want to try to do is a laser projector with a trace pattern. There's things for that. Because if I can secure the leather down and have a laser outline and then just follow the cuts, even like a simple like light cut and then I can do a deeper cut later, then I can like follow through with that. That might be helpful for prototyping. That'll be like quick prototyping. Because the other option is cutting out these cardboard templates and then kind of like follow that or use a tool to scar it, which I don't know if I can scar this stuff like I did with the other like for example, if I was using this, you can kind of do that. What about this tool? Because this is kind of like for that. I guess I can do that, and then I just go oop-a-doop, follow the line. Not really, because it's bending. But anyway, like that's really nice. Stuff is pretty nice. I mean, I can maybe I can tear it apart, but I would be like really trying. This is like the thinner part, so it's like unless there's a cut already started, but like and then it just gets. That's the only concern I have is like how strong is the whole bunch of. I mean, I am just ripping it apart. Oh yeah, let's see if the how the lighter goes. Yeah, still doesn't smell good burnt, but it can take it. So it burns pretty well. So that wax has a high. But I have to be like on it in order to burn it. All right, before I burn this place down, I'm gonna end the video. So I'm still figuring out like a better way for prototyping because at the end result will be once I have a design to follow through with, then I will. Wait, I want to try one more thing. because I want to try marking stuff. Oh yeah, that's obvious. So if I want to like kind of like do like little holes just to see, oh yeah, that's super obvious. So I could do that. What about the sticker part? I just want to try all this stuff out. Sweet, and then I could just follow along with this and be like do 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 do. Sweet. I am really psyched about this. Really psyched. Okay, well if I want to score a line, I can do it kind of, but I might just follow the cut. All right, so that's a good test. See how all this stuff works. It's pretty durable, but I mean, someone shouldn't be doing this with their leather. But like, I'll use the Bison for more heavy duty stuff. But for wallets, for most people, you're not going to need to do any of this, like tough stuff. But it was nice just to try everything and see how it's there. Very thin stuff, can make it thinner very easily. I'm really happy. I do want to work on the prototyping stuff, get things done quicker. Because like once I do the die cut, it's all fine, and I put it underneath here, and then it goes and stamps down. But there's some things where I want to make it a little bit easier for myself when it comes to testing new designs and stuff like that. The laser cutter, as you can see, this thing's huge, and it takes up so much space. It takes all this, and if it's only here for a few prototypes, then it's not really worth it. Where I could lay this out and work on the whole table if I wanted to. So I'm debating if I want to keep it, and plus I have to have a whole exhaust system to go outside because the air purifier stuff does not work. Not purifiers, but you know what I'm talking about, hopefully. Um, so, and plus you gotta do the software, cut settings, stuff like that. Whereas like I'm learning to rely on my own skill. Not my own skill, but just practice. Yeah, that's a skill. That's basically what it means. Okay, I'm rambling. Basically, I'm at the point where I might replace, like, get rid of this. Because other than making quick templates on cardboard, I might just sell it during Christmas season. Some kid will be very happy, or adult, not judging, and then and just do something like that. Because this will be something that I could get rid of now during the Christmas season, and then not have to worry about it anymore. Because it is a huge hunk of stuff. And in that way here, I could just do things by hand, which honestly is way faster. I still will design it in software because I know eventually it will be sent to a die cutter company and I need to get that all tracked. But could I just use a thing that sends down laser and I'll just follow the cuts as needed? I could totally do that if the software and stuff is right. Because it cost me $200 for the laser cutter. It cost me like almost $100 for the ventilation system with it, and then all the other wires and cables and stuff. So that's like around $350 for everything. Whereas like this is like just need a projector under $350, all the accessories included, and I can justify doing it, and then that will be a lot easier for prototyping. Like, because all I need to do is just have a ruler for calibration. Be like, okay, this matches this ruler, and then I just continue cutting. Like, whereas that it's like I have to line things up, yes, and stuff like that. I gotten better, but it's not the same. Anyway, done with my rambling. Gotta cut this down to a watchable video, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Imagine I cut myself. Bye.